What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Back with my segment Ego Weight Watchers, where I give you a look into the fighter's lifestyle, especially if there's a fight coming up. Now, this Saturday there is a fight coming up. Hey, no guys, Mark Golovkin versus Kell Brook. Now, I had to make this video. Now, I'm gonna word this carefully. I'm actually gonna read what I posted because I like how I worded it, and I don't want a lot of idiots to misconstrue what I'm saying. Now, as far as my prediction, I did 7 reasons why Gennady Golovkin will beat Kell Brook. This is simply an observation based on an assessment that I really noticed. When I watch face-offs and weigh-ins, I don't really usually take too much from it. I remember when Floyd Mayweather fought Canelo for the big 1 card, and I think it was the weigh-in. It was when they were doing the last face-off the final week. I think it was the weigh-in, and Mayweather was like smacking his gum, chewing real fast. And I literally did a video about it, just talking about the weigh-in, my reaction. And a commenter said, "Look, Floyd's gonna lose, he's gonna get knocked out. He's scared of Canelo. Look how fast he was chewing his gum." I was like, what? Are you serious? And then we all know what happened in that particular fight. I don't even have to get into detail. So I don't look at stuff, stupid shit like who's chewing their gum fast. And I don't even really get into like what people say too much with the trash talk. I look at fights stylistically and body language, things like that. And this is something that I notice. And as Ego Weight Watchers, what I do is try to give you guys some perspective. And I'm going to read my quote. But this is a picture from today. Golovkin was holding his belts. And the very first time I seen the video of the weigh-in, I looked, and the first thing I noticed was Golovkin looked a little bit sucked up. His face looked gaunt and ghastly, more so than previously was the case. And I was at his last fight at the weigh-in, and he didn't look like that. So it kind of threw me for a loop. I was like kind of surprised. So I'm going to read my caption, and then I'll finish with the video. But I said, now if you guys follow my YouTube, which you should be, you'll know I picked Golovkin to beat Kell Brook in my latest 7 reasons video. I'm going to keep my prediction. I'm not backtracking. However, Triple G looked a bit gaunt at the final press conference. I covered Golovkin's last fight versus Wade live in Inglewood, and went to the weigh-in, thought he looked great. But this Brook fight, he looked possibly a bit drained at the final presser, mainly in the face, based on how I've seen him look at past weigh-ins. If that is true, then that is good news for Kell Brook. Golovkin was extremely low weight at the 30-day weigh-in. Remember, I did an Ego Weight Watchers video. He only weighed 165, which is a mere 5 pounds away from the target weight. And then I said, I'm curious if Team Triple G decided to cut back weight sooner or try to come in as light as possible because they figured they were fighting a welterweight moving up to, meaning they wanted to come in as light as possible because they thought Kell Brook, he's the little guy. He's supposed to be the little guy, a guy jumping up 2 weight classes, and he can move and box a bit, you know what I'm saying, and move, create angles and stuff. So I'm wondering if Team Triple G decided like, hey, we need to get as light as possible because he's going to be squirrely and he's going to be moving in there, right? And I said, if that is the case and that was what they decided, it may have backfired because Kell Brook did the exact opposite and bulked up and came in massive and extremely heavy. Now again, I'm keeping my initial pick of Golovkin beating Brook. This is a simple observation based on something I noticed. Other factors include the lighting, which can sometimes cast shadows and possibly make someone look more tapped. And I do photography, some photography, but mostly like video editing and stuff. And I've seen different things like where it looked like I was filming a video. This is random. I was filming a video and this girl, she looked good. And then when I was filming her, I'm like, does a bitch have a mustache? Does she have a wolf pussy? Like, what is that? And it looked like she legit had a mustache, but it was the way the lighting was set up at the event. And it looked like she had a mustache. And I was like, what the fuck? So sometimes that can happen. But I seen this even in the video. So I'm just giving you guys, I'm playing devil's advocate because I don't know what it was. And I said, maybe the travel coming over to the UK, Triple G and his team didn't give themselves too much time to acclimate to the time zone difference. You have to factor in all these types of things because you go to different regions. Sometimes the water is different, the time zone difference. You might be on a different track where you can't sleep. I don't know. So that's what I'm telling you. There's multiple factors why this may be the case or possible reasons. But this could just be speculation. Canelo's very fair skinned, and I've seen subtle signs of him looking weight drained in his past fights at the weigh-in, and come fight night, he rehydrated well. It varies from person to person, body to body, etc. But from the pic and video I seen today, Golovkin looked a bit more spent than I've seen him previously. So this fight may be harder if weight was an issue for him. I can't wait to see what both fighters look like tomorrow on the scales. And that's what it is. And I put together this for you guys to look at. These are Golovkin's last couple fights, and look in the area of his face. I call it tissue paper, because when you are weight drained and dehydrated, your skin can almost look translucent, especially if you're like fair skin, white skin, things like that. You almost look ghastly and pasty. You look at Brandon Rios, another guy who has a light complexion, and when he was trying to suck himself down and weighing in naked and stuff to make some of his fights, I think it was Richard Brill, he didn't look good. You know what I mean? I remember it was a fight, I think Mike Alvarado and him, I seen both of them, they just looked like almost like weird, like Transformers. Their cheeks were just like super carved in, and that's what I noticed a bit more in Golovkin's face. These are defined. So what I do, see, this is what new media does. When I'm going to give you guys examples, I try to make it as reasonable as possible. All of these photos were fight week photos, the final press conferences for their particular fight. So it's not like I took the kickoff press tour with Golovkin Wade when he hadn't even started camp, and then for this one I'm showing you what he looks like a couple days before the weigh-in. You know what I'm saying? These are all fight week photos. These are all final presser photos for those past fights. But as you can see, his face looks a lot fuller right here, and even right here when he fought Willie Monroe Jr. And the thing I also noticed, if you go back and watch the video with Golovkin and Kell Brook was doing some weird. I noticed a lot of stuff. I got big eyes, so I see it all. Kell Brook was doing something really weird with his eye. I don't know if it was a mental, but his eye was really shifty, like bop, 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 bop. I don't know if you ever seen that on movies. They have that, I think it's like a black Felix the Cat clock, and then the eyes just keep, that's what Kell Brook was doing. So I noticed that, and I thought that was kind of weird. And then I noticed Golovkin, just go back, that's all I'm telling you guys, just go back and watch Golovkin, his face-offs, his final press conference face-offs. They should be on YouTube. Find them and look at his body language versus Dominic Wade versus Willie Monroe, and then go back and then watch the body language with Kell Brook, where he looked a lot more animated and he looked like his normal self in those past two weigh-ins, Monroe and Wade. He was smiling like, hey, no, guy, waving to the crowd. This looked like all business, like take the pictures and get me out of here. And I think Eddie Hearn may have seen that as well. But it's going to be interesting. Another thing you have to look at for dehydration and possible weight drain is your lips. When your lips start looking chapped, because you get cotton mouth, right? A lot of you guys don't know what the process of making weight is, and I talked to a lot of fighters and seen stuff, and I'm pretty versed when it comes to fitness in general. But when your lips start looking all pasty and like white, like Tyrone Biggums, goddamn Joe Rogan, like that is all indications and possible symptoms of weight drain. Now, as I said on my final post, this could mean nothing or it could mean something. I don't know. I'm going to keep my prediction of Golovkin beating Kell Brook. Go check out my 7 reasons if you want to know why I feel that. But to me, I'm going to be intently paying attention to the weigh-in to see what his body looks like. Pause. And then I'm also going to obviously watch the fight. So if he did struggle to make weight, I'm telling you, this is going to be very interesting type of fight, because of Kell Brook. A lot of people believe that this will be the most skillful guy, and like I said, it seems to me like they may have did the opposite. Triple G coming in extremely light, you know what I mean? Canelo at his 30-day weigh-ins, he is not no 165, right? You know what I mean? He's probably like maxing out close to the maximum 10% or whatever of the contracted weight that you can exceed, right? Golovkin came in very light at his 30-day weigh-in. He was at 165, and his 7-day weigh-in, I think he might have been like 3 pounds away from 160, right? So interesting strategies, and I'm telling you, every pound and different stuff like that. But I'm starting to think that Team Triple G is like, oh, okay, this is a welterweight and he's going to be fidgety, so we need to come in light too. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm not going away from my prediction. I'm gonna keep Triple G, but this got interesting to me because that's the exact opposite of what Kell Brook did. He's eating up like a caveman, like a savage trying to eat up, and that has potential problems too. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm not riding with no fighter. I have no horse in the race. You know what I mean? Kell Brook's plan could backfire too, and I've talked about that several times. It could backfire in the sense of when you're going in against a puncher and a guy like Golovkin, you can't afford to be gassed out. So if he's adding all this weight, which requires more oxygen, and you've been fighting and killing yourself to make welterweight, you say you're not used to fighting at 160 for 12 whole rounds, plus getting punched by the biggest puncher you've ever fought, right? So both fighters, their plans could backfire. I'm just going off a simple observation. And to me, Golovkin, body language wise, is like cheekbones, things like that. He looked pastier than normal. And Kell Brook was shifty-eyed. So we'll see what this means tomorrow and on Saturday. Drop it in the comment section. Ego Weight Watchers, share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.